Sure, Chin. So the I did say, and I still believe that if LOTRO was able to implement any type of battle zone or PvP or arena type PvP, I would resign from all other games that I play in the MMO genre, and exclusively as exclusive as I am right now, I would cancel all of my other active subs. I would happily pay double what I'm paying right now. And I know of at least 10 people I could get back into this game right now in a kin, ready to go, and they would hit PvP very, very hard. And what I'm referring to as far as a battle zone, war zone, battleground, if you've ever played things like Warcraft or Star Wars The Old Republic, those are the two that I've played specifically for PvP purposes. So when I'm talking about those, you're talking about a ranked or unranked type of system that you gain. Well, in the case of WoW, you gain honor and conquest based on if it's ranked or unranked, or rated, I should say now. And that's what gets you your gear. And, you know, it's a sense of accomplishment for me. The question is from Kaylin Cloud. PvP, is that important to you? Yes. Yes, it is. I am very competitive. I also like to be competitive in the PvE world, and I know that sounds a little crazy, but I like server first. I like world first. I like doing things first or better. That's just how I am. That's the nature of my personality. Is if I'm going to do something, I'm going to commit to it, and I'm going to be damn good at it. That's just me. I know that's not everybody, and that's fine. Let's see. The battlegrounds could fit the lore so well, especially going into Osgiliath. As good as World PvP is, they really shouldn't focus on it. Absolutely. You know, we're heading into the meat of the War of the Ring. There's going to be battles all over the place. There's, the Bells of Dale that we saw in the Road to Erebor. That is based on the what the hell's the name of that grouping of people? I can't remember. It's not the Corsairs or the Harajim. There's a grouping of, I'm just going to say Angmar. I know that's dead wrong, but that go up to sack Dale, because once again they're trying to get that strategic placement of Erebor. There's that. You have the Scourging of the Shire, which is actually after the War of the Ring. And the way this game is structured, you can mess with time. You know, if you queue into something, you can tell the thank you, Easterlings. That's what I was looking for. So you can mess with time. You go into the last homely house right now. You go into Bilbo's room. It's December 24th. Always. You can mess with time. That's the advantage you have of a game. So we could go to the Scourging of the Shire. We could go back up to, the Sacking of Dale. We could go see those things in a PvP environment. We could go back into the past and go to the Battle of the Greenfields. We could do a lot of stuff. It's just, how do we implement that? And on the flip side of that, when I played Star Wars The Old Republic, they had a planet called Ilum that was their open world, their PvP map. You had servers that were PvP oriented, and then you also had, theirs were actually called war zones. So they actually had, a couple spots from kind of like capture the flag type of deals. There were, and I think there's so many things that we could do with systems that are already in place. I think of the example I always throw out there is Trouble at Tuckbrew. Okay, so you have the Freeps that would start where you currently start that instance, and you have the Creeps start at the Great Smeals at the door, because in that story they've already captured the Great Smeals. So, and there's already control points. So basically what you do, and that would almost be for people that have played League of Legends, how you kind of start at your opposites, you meet in the middle, you fight, and there's a push and pull back to whoever's base, and you capture and you win. That's how something like that would work, is you're going to capture those points on the way to the middle, you're going to fight in the middle, and then you're going to start to pull back, and somebody's going to eventually win over that. So there's things like that that could work. And I think that, as many new systems as I've seen LOTRO implement over the years and they've not worked, hell, give it a try. Put one in and see how well it does. Put it up on Bull Roar just to see how people like it. You probably see a crazy spike in the amount of people that hit up Bull Roar. That's for damn sure. Let's see, there's another question here. How would you do creeps with battlegrounds? Like, so new creep doesn't join said battleground and instantly be under-geared, quote unquote.
Guess who?
That is something that would be very difficult, and I'm sure that's where the challenge comes from. Because right now, you have no mirror classes, so there isn't something that directly reflects my champion. It's close. I mean, I would kind of put that in the same element with a Reaver. Melee class, you've got your Rens and your Bleeds and your really hard-hitting single target attacks and things like that. So, but the problem is there's no real straight up mixing. So that might have to be a rebuild, and that's probably what's really scary for a lot of people in the development side of things. It's like, okay, if we want to do something like that, 5v5, depending on the builds, that could be a nightmare. But it's about having the best team and things like that, so that's tricky. So Tanubian just sent me a question here. How lore breaking would it be if there is a dwarf faction PvP against the elves? It wouldn't necessarily be lore breaking. It would be freaking hilarious though, because there is a natural tension between the two. I mean, you obviously don't have dwarves going out and killing elves or vice versa, but there is definitely some tension between the two. Turbine, please just employ Bloodborne. I mean, honestly, this is why I wanted to do Players Council. This right here is why I wanted to do it. Because I have ideas, I have a strong voice, and I like to talk. And that might be why I'm not on it. But when I think about this stuff, I just start thinking of what would be, how I would like to play other games that I've played and systems that I enjoyed, and I like to get it here. Warbeast, dwarves and elves have fought in the past. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. And that's what I bring up in what I was talking about before, is with this game you have the ability to mess with time. So that could be something you do. I mean, in Star Wars you would get a they would do, since the factions were so lopsided, oftentimes when you did Hut Ball, for example, it was light side versus light side. So that could happen.